Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SMB training. Okay, and time has passed so quickly, don't you think? That I still remember it was just 2 weeks ago that I was introducing to all of you the series for today, and now we are ready at the final stretch. In fact, the last month of the whole year. All right, so I just want to thank everybody who has been supporting us all this while. And indeed, this year itself, we have explored many different themes when it comes to the subject of metabolic health. Okay, I think we have been really creative this year. Starting with gut health. I think gut health, we have explored quite a fair bit in that. And then after that, we move into muscle health, and then there's anti-aging. Okay, and moving forward, just to give people a bit of update about next year, I can say being in Unicity for such a long time, it will be one of the most exciting season yet. All right, because I think now the company has become very focused in its brand identity. Okay, and the whole narrative about metabolic health has never been more cohesive than now. All right, and as I was looking through and being briefed about the direction the US is taking for the coming year, and with all the products and how everything is now becoming a lot more smooth, and I can see the complete picture about where the company is headed. So I think today's topic is going to be very helpful to all of you as you are also part of this journey with Feel Great. I hope this topic will give you confidence and insight, I think especially, and how you can equip yourself as agents of Feel Great, right? To feel really confident about where you are. Alright, and especially with all the upcoming products that's going to be launching together as well in the new year. I never felt better, if I could say. It's not the kind of confidence that you feel that comes out of insecurity, right? That you feel that you need to prove to the world that you are something, but you just have this quiet confidence and assurance knowing that you're very well positioned. And I would say that even among so many competition, and as I was doing this, I felt that we are really in a very good place now, and I think it's a great time. All right, and moving into the next year, so we just hope, okay, that whatever that US is launching could arrive to our market soon. Please don't ask me when it's going to be launched. I have no idea about that, but I hope it's not going to take too long time. All right, so are you excited? Okay, this will be our grand finale of the year, right? All right, now, as all of us enter into this new year, not this new year. When I was doing this series, just reflect back, okay? What has been the most scary or the most impactful health season, okay, I wouldn't say health season, a health crisis that the society has been going through. All right, so some of the first few that you can think of would be H1N1, right? Okay, this is the earliest memory I have about an outbreak or a pandemic that happened when I was in primary school. Okay, I remember there was some signs of lockdown, but not really. I think just schools have to shut down and mask, okay, and that was the very first time that I have an experience about pandemic. Okay, but everything resolved pretty quickly. I mean, even though H1N1 was serious and a lot of life were affected, but it wasn't so bad and it resolved relatively fast. So the next health crisis, which I'm pretty sure everybody is on this call is very aware, is COVID-19. Okay, I think the society has never been hit so hard before, okay, comparing to H1N1. H1N1 is like nothing, right? So the impact of COVID-19 was really staggering, and even businesses were affected and locked down immediately. Every pharmaceutical company was rushing, okay? In fact, it's like a competition of who can come up with the vaccine the fastest. So this definitely, both of these health conditions were serious, and it had affected many lives. Okay, in fact, there were a lot of mortality rate. But as I was recalling about all this that we have been going through, right, I think it just happened to my mind. Actually, there's another silent pandemic, that has always been happening, but for some reason, people just put like a blind eye. Okay, there's no major headline about this, but it's technically a pandemic, which is called the sugar, or in other terms, the diabetes pandemic. you come to think about it, okay, diabetes has happened since what? How many years ago, right? Since, I could say 50 years ago. Okay, H1N1 and COVID-19, no doubt it is serious at that time. It is an acute situation. It was life-threatening. But we kind of get through it relatively quickly. After vaccination and all that, we are able to flatten the curve. Okay, but when it comes to sugar and diabetes problem, it is just something that we cannot move on. Alright? Like, even though we know it is really simple, okay, it's sugar, it's just food, and but we just cannot overcome this problem when you come to think about it. And people have also become numb towards the effect of sugar and diabetes problem because it has already become so ingrained in society. So if there's a virus that infects 1 million people, immediately there will be a lockdown. Okay, you cannot go to work, you cannot, function, you cannot go out, we have to immediately hoard our groceries at home and all the kind of initiatives that everybody is really have a lot of urgency over. When it comes to sugar and metabolic disease, and as of now, 589 million people are affected by it, and the death count, by the way, is more than H1N1 and COVID-19 combined, for context, okay? More death with this disease, but it has become normalized. Just another modern life problem. Those who have diabetes, not all of them feel scared when they just, life goes on, they just eat whatever, do whatever, because there's medicine, right? So they don't think that it's something that, because their life is not taken immediately. So that's why there is not much urgency and, about this problem. So we kind of accepted that that's just life. And just to give you and to remind you about where we are in this context, right? The diabetes crisis, SMB region, the Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, we are all Olympic medalists, okay, if you could put it that way, in the Southeast Asia region. You have gold medal, you have silver medal, and the bronze medal. Okay, so Malaysia obviously won. And by the way, we are no longer 19%, we are already 21%. Okay, as of 2025, right? So Brunei was number 3, but it has overtaken Singapore, and Brunei is also number 3. Okay, it's a pretty strong contender as well when you're talking about, sugar, diabetes values. Now, Malaysia have also upgraded. Okay, we have global ranking. Okay, when it comes to diabetes, we are pretty famous, and we are 13 in the world. So this is just one of those things that I hope that we don't go up the top 5. Let's just stay at 13, and hopefully we can go back, but let's not go forward, alright, when we are talking about diabetes crisis. So what is the impact of uncontrolled sugar levels? I'm not going to talk about extreme examples here, but we all know this about kidney problem, going to cut the leg off. Okay, those are things about a bit of a health scare, but I think we are way past that. But how about you and me, okay? If all of us, we're not at that extreme level yet, but if we have uncontrolled sugar levels, say 2 to 3 units above what healthy, what would then happen to us? So every single moment you have uncontrolled sugar levels, you are 26% higher percentage of having a much higher fat percentage compared to somebody who has a normal sugar level. Alright, so in terms of fat percentage, it's given already that you would be struggling, okay, 26% higher. You are at 60% chance of getting dementia, okay, 60%. It's more than half already. So even though there is a genetic component, but it looks like this sugar thing is playing much to the narrative of dementia, and it's a pretty big percentage here, more than half. Okay, and how about your age? So if you have uncontrolled sugar level, you are 12 years older than your actual age, So even though you are 40 years old, but you need to be 52 in your body. And because of that, you would also increase the risk of 57 different types of disease. So at a given moment when your sugar readings is above what is healthy, you are already putting yourself at risk of welcoming 57 different types of diseases. And your lifespan is shortened by 10 years simply by having uncontrolled sugar level. So this is the reason why the death toll, when you talk about diabetes, is actually very big one. Okay, of course, it's not up on the headlines. Okay, people are not rushing to, because there's no vaccine to cure this. Okay, just FYI, there's no vaccine and there's technically no medicine that can cure diabetes. All right, that's the reason why I would think that this is the real killer here. Okay, when we talk about pandemic, right? So because it is a problem, and I'm sure that the society or even government, okay, and healthcare, everyone is thinking of ways to solve it, right? Because it's indeed a serious thing, and it is a chronic issue that we just can't seem to graduate from. So because of this, there is a need for medication, and this is why medicine is being produced. Okay, why is it being formulated? Because it's just too much of a problem and we can't curb it since there's no vaccine for it. So looks like medicine is the way to go. Alright, so what are the options when you look into the whole pharmaceutical industry? So medicine, there are several types, okay, but metformin would be the forefront, okay, because metformin is the safest and it would be the first line of therapy. There are instances where people don't take metformin but other types of medicine, but generally this would be the way to go, right? So how does it work is that it lowers the glucose production in your liver and it improves the body's sensitivity to insulin. So this is the main mechanism. Of course, there are other medications. Some will work on your kidney, some will make you pee out more sugar, alright, will prevent the absorption of sugar. So all this is, depending on what the doctor would still is fit for your situation, but most of the time would be important. So the next is insulin jet. So insulin jet is required, especially for those who are type 1, where you are no longer able to produce sufficient amount of insulin, so of course there's no choice, right? But it also can happen to those who are type 2 if you have achieved the maximum dose of oral medicine, but it just doesn't work. Some people are on 2 different types of medicine, but they just cannot bring the insulin down. No, cannot bring the sugar down, sorry. And this is where you need to bring in insulin already. So for those who are type 2, if you're on insulin jet, that means your sugar problem is quite severe, right? So this is where we try not to be in this category, but if you are, then it means it's pretty serious. So last but not least would be GLP-1. So GLP-1 is the most famous right now. It's the newest class of medication, right? Act on your appetite receptor. Okay, it's the strongest appetite receptor agent. So it helps, in some way, help to stimulate your pancreas to release more insulin. But what makes it famous overnight is because of its drastic weight loss effect. So even for those who have no sugar problem, those who are not sick, by the way, are like completely okay. They are also in GLP-1 because they want to lose weight fast. But most people cannot be on this for long term because it's very expensive. So GLP-1 is, people dub it as rich people's medication, right? Because it's really expensive to get GLP-1 treatment. Because of this, we need to know the objective. Okay, we're not here to villainize any of these, pharma or nature or whatever, but they all serve its purpose. The goal is to curb persistent high blood sugar through pharmacological intervention. So the mode of action is very quick. Okay, it delivers a rapid effect to stabilize the body, aiming to consistently lower glucose level. So this is really important, right? We're talking about those who are already at critically high levels. So if they don't have anything to bring it down, then very soon there will be a severe health consequence that may happen. Okay, it manages the condition, but it does not lower it permanently. Okay, I want to stress this. If the medicine is stopped, their sugar level will return back to high levels. Alright, so people have this misunderstanding that once they take medicine, their diabetes will go away. Right, but truth is it's not. Okay, it only helps to curb that and at that particular time when you need it. So when it comes down to it, really is your lifestyle intervention. Okay, what you do, and especially solving insulin resistance. Okay, so medicine just helps to make your numbers look better on paper. So but when it comes back to it, you still need something to really control and to manage insulin resistance. Okay, it helps the body to regulate insulin and glucose, but it does not fix the root cause. It only helps symptomatically. But then, it is important for those who are chronic or critical case, and it's because it reduces severity and prevents serious health complications. So if your doctor is prescribing you on medicine, you have to continue. Alright, because if you don't continue, it's going to go back up. Okay, and supplementation, no matter what, also cannot work as fast as this. Okay, so for some people, they may need to be on this while they're on insulin supplement. Okay, so we will always advise to please follow the doctor's advice, please. Okay, so medicine is important, but it's important to realize that, ironically, despite better drugs, diabetes case continue to rise globally year on year. Okay, I've never seen diabetes get lesser one, you know. Like, diabetes is one of those things that keeps up, okay? Like, we don't get better, alright, in terms of the statistics of diabetes. Right, in fact, more people are on the drugs than ever before, okay, right now, especially record-breaking figures. And using medication to curb minimizes complications, but it does not reduce diabetes as a whole. Right? They're not doing anything to bring the numbers down, you know, and we are still really high. Okay, we're talking about diabetes incidences. So there comes a need that we have to do something so that, as much as all these, medicine are important, but it's not solving the real issue. So because of this, naturally, society would think, oh, let's go for a natural option, right? So this is where all the plants and all these things. Okay, but I mean, truth to be told, medicine does come from some of these signs from nature as well. So we can't say that, medicine is completely out of nature. But then some people would prefer to go completely plant-based, okay, because it seems to be a more natural option. Now, what are the type of supplements in the market that targets sugar and insulin control? So there are a few, and there are different classes. So there's one class that falls under the herb and supplement, alright? So this is like cinnamon, berberine, they're very popular, and there are also other like bitter melon, okay, fenugreek, okay, those are known to they are being marketed into this sugar control area. So most herbs have mild to moderate effect, okay, they just kind of miss the mark sometimes because they are just not as potent, and it does work for a period of time, but after that your body just kind of get used to it. So there is a bit of a risk there. Okay, and high efficacy herb often come with some safety concerns. So there are some herbs that are very effective. Okay, and one of them is berberine. Apparently it has metformin-like effect. But Malaysia has banned berberine. Singapore has also banned berberine because it can cause liver conditions. Right, so that's why natural product is like that. Those that are very strong can have health conditions. So those who are okay, but they only give you okay effect to the body. Okay, and the thing is, it does not manage sugar and insulin during mealtime. This is key. And you will be surprised that a lot of all these only manage as a whole, but they don't target at very sensitive periods, especially during mealtime. Okay, and we have a different class, which is like a vitamin and mineral based. So if you go to the drugstore or pharmacy, sometimes they will market it, this is a vitamin and mineral blend for sugar control, and they merge like chromium is one of them. Merge chromium and magnesium and some of these key ones that may have a role in better insulin control. But they are necessary for foundational health. It's true, actually. Deficiency could lead to insulin-related insensitivity, but the effects are mild. Okay, so unless you are severely deficient, then you may see an effect. But in short, you don't really feel much through just a mineral-based supplement. Okay, they are unable to physically block sugar spikes, which I think is important to note. Okay, and of course there are different class which is fiber-based. Okay, they're generally safe and well tolerated, so there are plenty out there. I think just one walk to the grocery store, you can really see them. Okay, there are long scientific history and substantiation. Okay, it's true, it's one of the safest and been around for a long time. But standard fibers often lack the viscosity to be effective. Okay, they are always like very they don't gel up, and they just don't really do much as well. Okay, so these are whatever options that's out there in the market when it comes to nature-related supplements. Okay, so to cut the billion-dollar problem, alright, you're presented with two choices. So come to think about it, what do you think is true? Is nature the better option or pharma? Okay, so which is better? Now, come to think about it, both also have its pros and cons, right? So nature generally well tolerated with fewer side effects. Okay, you don't have to worry as much compared to pharma, but the result can be inconsistent. It can be good for a certain period of time, after it doesn't really work, then you have to increase the dose. And some formulas are hard for the body to absorb effectively because a lot of them are plant-based, so our body can't really utilize the active ingredients well. Okay, we lack the speed and potency of medication, which I think is what we need to hold. Okay, we cannot just have something that don't really work much, then you are eating it, but it's not doing anything for you. So pharmaceutical are very effective, no doubt, okay, and they help to build in a defective function in the body that is something that's not quite right with the body really. Alright, it's rapid, effective, but it masks the issue, okay, it treats the symptoms but not the cause. So it does help to stabilize your sugar readings, but it doesn't really go to the heart of it. And it comes with unwanted risks like weight gain, nausea, organ stress, and sometimes with GLP-1 even paralysis, right? So these are the things that when you come to think about it, they don't really seem to be the long-term solution. So of course you must be thinking, then how? Okay, I thought you say this, then feel great is where is feel great, right? But it's really important that you have to answer this question, okay? Is there something that can combine the gentleness of nature with the potency of science, right? It's safe and well tolerated for long-term use, and it's always consistent one. And the mechanism will always just repeat itself. Okay, a standardized formulation ensures consistent result that is always effective, and most importantly, it addresses the root cause, not just symptoms. Alright, I think this is the most important of all, really, that we can do this and cost without any of the side effects. Right? So it is possible. Alright, so this is where feel great is a bit of the merging of two worlds, even though it's not really medicine in a sense, but it is definitely more than just a nature-based supplement. Okay, because what we have here is not purely just a product. Okay, which you go out, okay, you take this, you can just take this, okay, and you expect to lower DGT. There's no system behind it, there's no connection in the product, right? Okay, feel great is not just something that you just market as a singular generic product, okay, but it is a system, alright, which have very strong science base that help to target some of the most important foundation of our health, which is healthy insulin, sugar levels, and your fat percentage. So both of these, when it comes down to anything at all, before you target the more complex issues, look into these two first. Okay, don't talk about you want to have like better skin or better joints without tackling both of these, because they are the most important foundation when it comes to your health. Right? Okay, so why are we different is because we merge both worlds. That's why I said, right? So not just only some generic supplement out there that only have maybe chromium or only maybe have magnesium, but we have 13 different types of vitamins and minerals for the proper functioning of insulin hormone. So every single ingredient that is being formulated in our product is well thought out. Okay, it's not a random thing that we just put inside, just because it looks good on paper, but there is a reason, and these are selective vitamins and minerals that ensure proper functioning and insulin sensitivity of our body. And of course, we also incorporate scientifically backed multi-spectrum fiber blend. Alright, it's different compared to like just one fiber or two. Okay, we are multi-spectrum fiber blend, and it creates this awesome product, okay, which is balance. Right? So, talking about merging two worlds together, alright, this 13 vitamins and minerals establishes a strong foundation for proper sugar insulin regulation. Okay, because vitamin deficiency, they do play a role to a certain degree. So we want to ensure that none of this is missed out and you have no proper nutrition as you take on this. Because chromium is well known for its sugar lowering effects, and zinc, the pancreas needs zinc to build and store insulin. Alright? And even magnesium is also very important for the production of insulin. So they all have association towards good insulin response. So that's why we have incorporated all these strategically to give us that benefit. Right? And 7 types of soluble fiber, right? There's a big difference if you just take one, compared to 7 types. Because the more varied your fiber blend, there's different fermentation rate, they can cope with different types of food in the body. So that's the reason why with balance, you can eat, the greasy food, you can eat the high sugar food, and you're able to combat the effects of all this food compared to just a single fiber because of the different fiber blend, right? And improve viscosity and fermentation rate. Most importantly, it activates short chain fatty acid, and this is key when it comes to fermentation and activation of GLP-1 in our body. Alright, so please don't look at balance as just another fiber product. Okay, it's really not. And if you look into all the ingredients and the mind behind it, it is comprehensive. Right? And of course, there are medication, right? Of course, we know that it does help your body to better metabolize and excess sugar, but you must know that it does not control sugar spike during your mealtime. This is very important. In fact, a lot of the supplements that we saw, they don't really target this. So that's why we need the fiber blend, right? Because that is the key thing, and the sugar spike is the main thing that is hindering our ability to better manage sugar in our body, right? So this is really important. Okay. So if, of course, like I said, if doctor prescribes your medicine, please don't stop taking, okay? Make sure that you continue what is advised, and in the meantime, under the supervision of doctor, you can continue with it. Okay? Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be balanced, right? Okay? So, soluble fiber is one of the most well-established natural food, verified, okay, by various big organizations. It's safe, alright, and it's able to effectively lower the impact of carbohydrates and cholesterol. So I think that's key. Right? So managing your sugar during mealtime is very important. So balance is not something that you can omit. It's very important to put it into your regime. Okay? So this is another proof that we can reduce our sugar after meal. Medicine don't do that, by the way. So only a good amount of fiber can help us to achieve this naturally. Alright? So balance helps us to reduce reduce blood glucose post-meal, reduce sugar, insulin spike, and of course glycation, aging, and all these other effects that will come with poor sugar control. Alright? Okay, so what happens if we don't eat? So we have already targeted a very important part, which is during meal time. So what happens if we don't eat when we sleep or when we fast? Can we ensure that sugar and insulin levels continue to maintain low? Can we burn fat? And will our metabolism slow down? Okay, so these are three main concerns when we look into just fasting in general. And why some people cannot fast for long. And fasting is very effective only one time. Then the second time not effective already. Because these are the struggles that we face. So your body will suddenly slow down, cannot burn fat that much, and your sugar may not be able to regulate by being able to fast. So this is why we need something else to help us to go through and to navigate through all these challenges. So one of the main and the most important component when it comes to burning fat, raising metabolic rate, is this thing called chlorogen. Okay, that's the reason why there are many companies out there that when they do like a weight loss plan, they will also have like an energy boosting component. And the main thing that they really want to get out of it is chlorogen, okay, because this is proven to be able to have significant effect on focus, performance, metabolism, fat burning, sugar, and insulin management. So when you look into whatever energy boosting product like caffeine or whatever, the main thing that they are looking into is chlorogen. So this is the main focus point. So there are many companies also that have their own kind of energy boosting, supplement, right? So of course, in comparison to whatever that's out there, green coffee is slightly higher than roasted, okay? And this is the commercial Yaba market. That's the reason why you can't buy this online or even on a drugstore, okay? Because it's really just different. Compared to what Uni Mate has, it has 10 times more chlorogenic than a cup of human coffee, right? Because of our process, okay, that we have gone through very specific extraction, purification process. That is the reason why we can have this amount of concentration. So it is not the same, right? Even though you buy from, I know there are people who do that online, but it's just not the same, right? So this is how it works when you look at the fat burning perspective, okay, that, is able to act on the battery of our cells, which are mitochondria, and you activate this thing called CAT1. So CAT1 is that door that will encourage fat burning in our body. So chlorogenic acid is able to activate more of this CAT1 to be activated, and this increase fat burning up to 24%. So this is pretty significant, talking about a supplement, a natural supplement perspective, okay, it's not drugs. So it's able to raise your basic metabolic rate, in fact, how well you burn fat as much as 24%, even though you're at rest. So I would say that this is pretty impressive, okay, considering what it is. So, okay, I want to talk a bit about GLP-1. I'm not going to go into it in detail because due to time constraint. But this is the main thing that people want to have. Okay, now this is the next buzzword really. So of course, many other, food-related products, okay, they are trying to relate it to GLP-1. So coffee, firstly does it stimulate GLP-1? Okay, how about matcha? Okay, we know it's also very popular one, right? When it comes to that. How about other kinds of standard supplements? So as of now, there really isn't a lot out there that can help to naturally stimulate GLP-1. Not like Unimate. Okay, there are coffee, matcha. I mean, they still stimulate some amount of GLP-1. Okay, of course, it still does, but it just cannot compare to the effect of Unimate. Alright, and we are our product is in the forefront when it comes to naturally occurring GLP-1. So with this, okay, you don't have to, go for, all these, if you were to compare to just a GLP agonist. Alright, it supports well-being, it has very minimal side effects, sustainable for lifestyle, okay, you don't have to go through any invasive procedure. And with this itself, you're able to have natural GLP-1 support. So this is what we're looking at. Nothing invasive, nothing that will harm your metabolism in the long run, affordable, and yet it's still good. So this is why Unimate really has an edge when it comes to this, and it's better than whatever other energy boosting supplements out there. Okay, so much so that that even he believes in drinking liver mate. Right? Of course, it's not drinking Unimate, but then you get the hint, right? That he even a global superstar, okay, also drinks on liver mate. Alright, so the effect of Unimate is so far-reaching that I don't have time to go through everything, but generally it does all these benefit for our body in terms of fat, managing hunger. You don't have to inject anything, yet you're able to have a good control of your sugar and insulin level during your fasting time. Okay? So feel great is essential. 2 Unimate and 1 Balance establishes the most important metabolic foundation. And this system is far better than whatever that you can see out there in the market. Okay, that is gentle, it merges the science and the gentleness of natural formula that is effective. So this is what we want. And most importantly, it can help us to go to the root of managing insulin resistance. Okay? So bear with me for a moment. I want to touch this because it is becoming increasingly important. And this is why Unicity is different. Many other companies out there will only link muscle health with, they don't have anything to do with metabolic health on it. Most companies out there, they will only link muscle health with like your appearance or losing weight, okay? But that's the reason why I love Unicity, because it is able to draw such a beautiful connection with what is really happening in our body. Okay? So as a recap, glucose will go into different parts of our body. So fat is 5 to 10%, followed by liver, and muscle is actually the biggest uptake of glucose in your blood. So if you don't have enough and strong muscle in your body, it's going to compromise your ability to be able to regulate your sugar level. So that's why it is also more than just, all these other things that we're talking about, but muscle health is becoming increasingly important. So it's not just only for those who are of a certain age, those who are working out. In fact, you and me, if you are young, all the more you should make sure that your muscle health is in a good state, because it takes up to 80% of sugar in your blood. Alright? Okay, and not just only that, it also burns a lot of calories. So this is just a comparison, right? Fat, okay, if you have 30 kg of fat, you burn 135 kilocalories at rest. So with muscle, you are burning double of that. So, from that perspective, your metabolic rate would be double if you have the same amount of muscle comparing to just having white fat. So this is another reason why you should pay close attention to this. Alright? So when your muscle shrinks, okay, it is a lot of problems. Okay, it's not just about appearance. Okay, it affects the ability of you to regulate sugar, metabolism, the shrunken appearance, the poor posture, mobility, and the risk of disease would increase. Yeah. So that's why we have to take good care of our muscle health. Alright? And this is the part that I want to focus on. And this is where I think we are really different. And we should be proud of it. Okay? Because if you look at other companies, it's all about weight loss only one. Okay? I don't want to mention names, but they sell really expensive and it's all about weight loss, appearance, and that's it. Okay? They have no link towards, your foundation about metabolic health. And this is where we come in with a totally different perspective. Okay? For us, appearance, weight loss, and exercise performance is a side benefit that you will get anyway. But as long as you get this right, alright, you're able to get all these other benefits that you desire. Okay, and it's able to go hand in hand with our feel good to manage healthy glucose and insulin management. Okay, so this is another really important aspect that we should look into. Okay, so with Stronghold, it promotes the strongest muscle building signal and it prevents muscle loss. Alright, and this is not just any other like protein supplement. Okay, with all of this combined, it's able to provide accelerated benefit. Okay, it's able to command the strongest muscle building signal. Okay, not every other whatever protein brand out there can do the same effect like what Stronghold can do to our body. So, we link muscle to metabolic health. Okay, we go further and better. Alright, and we reinforce a good foundation in your body. So, for muscle to grow, we need two things. So, we still need high quality protein source. So, we still need that food, okay, to be shuffled into our muscle. And then, with the right signal, this is where it will signal your muscle to grow. Right? It is key here, and this is where Stronghold will pair really nicely with LC vanilla. Okay, so what is the difference? So food source is just pure product, or it's just pure protein. We have very high, we scale up on the protein. Alright, we have 12 grams of protein, okay, purely just as a food source, so that your muscle has something to work with. Right? Because if there's no raw material, there's no weight at all. So your muscle needs to take some of that to use it for its growth. So in order for us to speed up that process and to have a much faster rate of muscle growth, this is where an activator would be really helpful. Okay, so Stronghold will send a muscle signal to your body and it tells the muscle to grow. So it's able to utilize all the protein that's been in the muscle cell to grow even further. And you will have a much more accelerated effect to your body. So if you have a feel and a command, you will have an extra boost of muscle growth and retention, and this would really work in your favor when you talk about mastering and to really get a good hold about the metabolic health. Okay, so as we come to the close of today, I want to reinforce that you are in the right company. Okay, and I felt really very excited about this because as I was doing these slides, I just feel like we are the missing piece to the puzzle, right? Because other companies, how they market their product really is very generic. It's just one product and very simple ingredients, and okay, then that's the new thing that they claim they're able to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but behind that there's no system. Nothing that is as cohesive as what we have right now. Alright, there's no system, results are inconsistent, you just eat once a day or twice a day, okay, and you really cannot track how effective it is. And most importantly, does it tackle the root cause? Okay, you may lose weight, you may have this and that, but are you really managing insulin resistance at the core or not? So this is one question mark that we do not know. And they are not as specialized into metabolic health. But for us, okay, we are very strong in our scientific vacuum. And right now, we have one of the best teams in the world. Like, literally. Okay, Dr. Benjamin Dickman is the forefront in metabolic health, and he is like the pro. If you talk about 3 people in the world that knows that's expert in metabolic health, is one of them is Dr. Benjamin Goodman, and he has a lot of connection. In fact, if you look at the convention, right, all those people that was invited to the US convention are all top people in the field, right? So with that amount of network, I can say with confidence that we are really in the right hand, okay, in terms of formulation and whatever that's going to be, after this would be even better. Okay, and we have a very cohesive system. Is everything has a very strong foundation and has a connection between every single science that is in it. Alright, it has a cohesive, clear focus, and we have always been very focused on it. So we don't have to get insecure, right? Or when you see another new product, oh, there's this NMN or whatever, we feel insecure that we don't have this kind of thing. But now when you are very focused and you know what is your mission and what is the core of your products, right? We know without a doubt that this is our brand identity. Okay, sustainable and effective, and we clearly can fit a gap that is missing in the market right now. Right, we have a lot of short-term kind of thing, but nothing that is as consistent and scientifically strong as what we have right now. So as we put everything together, okay, this is just a brief guide of how you can incorporate all these products that we have mentioned. So of course, morning, mini mate, okay, that's pretty much self-explanatory. So lunch, okay, I know there are people who ask, right, how to take stronghold. So after clarifying with the scientist, she said that we can take this as the best way, of course, is to take together with your meal time, because that's when muscle building occurs. But she said there's no time sensitive way of taking this. You can take before, or can take after your meal. You can take with LC vanilla as well. Okay, so we can take it together balance. So there's really no fixed rule on this. So it's up to you, but the best way to take stronghold is always during your meal time. So not to take during fasting time. And of course, dinner is to take another one of Bio's life as off balance as you are consuming your dinner time. So this is how we would put everything together, with all the products we mentioned. Okay, so with this, we have come to the end of the session today, that you have the blueprint to solve the sugar problem. So we are not quick fix, but we are able to meet everybody in the middle, right, to produce the products that is natural but also effective with science at the same time. Okay? So the next training would be in January 2026. Okay, like I said, this is our last training session for the year. So be excited. I'm really excited for next year. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot more exciting new things that are upcoming, and and all of you will also be at the same journey with us. All right, and can't wait to unpack and to relate and to go into a new level of how we will make metabolic health better for everyone. Okay. So now it is Q&A time. It looks like there's not much that we have to tackle through today's session. A lot of it has already been kind of talked about the previous time. But the key thing that I want to stress is that what we can do is that we can manage the sugar during meal time. So I think that's a key thing, and I was quite surprised to find out that that medicine can't do that. So next week, technically next week will be, you all will be in Korea already, right? So far. Some people are counting down already. This could be counting down a few months. Now it's like 1 week from now, technically. Yeah, feel great, we are unstoppable. So when you're in Korea, please take a lot of pictures. I think Dr. Benjamin Goodman will be there as well. Yeah, he'll be there. And he'll also be touching on Stonehole, I believe. So you all can anticipate a lot of excitement through that session. And in Korea also, you can get a lot of products. Yeah, there's a lot of exclusive products in Korea, but make sure you make arrangement to order it, because there's a lot of people in the Korea office. Okay, so Figure is neither pure natural remedy or pharma. What do we call it? Is nutraceutical still a valid term? Yes, it is. or is it still in the genome physical terms still in effect for the work we do with CJ? Due to a lot of regulatory issues, when you put the word genome physical, right, that's why they actually don't use it as much really. Okay, because yeah, you can't really link, genome with it's still quite sensitive, lah. So because of that, nutraceutical is a good one. Uh, yeah, we're not a pure natural remedy. I think that sounds kind of like diluted as well. Like there's no much science behind the term natural remedy. Okay, like it's something that your grandma would have done. Okay, boy, from a hurt. So we're definitely better than that. So I would say that we meet in the middle. And yeah, nutraceutical is a good word. I like that. I think it really blends well in terms of the science and the nature of the things that we do use, because we also use nature products in general. Okay, so that would be how we would, position it in the whole feel good movement. Okay, so breathing muscle and sleep quality are interrelated. Does stronghold help for those that have poor sleep quality? Yeah, I believe it does. Yeah, I believe it does. It has like other components in it that, because when we build muscle, that's when our body will also produce a lot of hormones that's beneficial when it comes to regulating sleep as well. So I think that this would also be good to calm us down because it also has some nerve uh, regulating effect. So I think that, yeah, I think stronghold would be beneficial for that as well. Right. Mm. Okay. Oh, there's another question here. So isn't exercise important to improve muscle function, thus brain absorption, and also brain body connection? That's true. So how do we explain to consumers who are sports people when they say exercise is not needed when they're taking pill and stronghold? Okay, by the way, it's not to say not needed. All right. Okay, I just want to rephrase myself. It's not a must. Okay, because I know how many are being structured is that you must take, because okay, a lot of movement out there is talking about, of course, exercise does stimulate. And if you have exercise, you have even better effect if you were to take stronghold together. That's what I'm trying to say. And if those people who are on exercise, all the more they should take stronghold, because their muscle would they will lose muscle mass easily, because especially if they don't recover. So this is where stronghold is very helpful for them. So of course, definitely stronghold is even more important to us that we don't exercise at all. All right, if you don't exercise, there's no muscle stimulation at all. So all the more we who are sedentary need stronghold. Okay, so if you will want to pitch it to somebody who's very active, I would say that promotes recovery, promotes even stronger, even more resilient muscle recovery, and it will work even better in their favor, and it could be even better if they would merge it with PR protein supplements. So is how I would angle it if you are, targeting to somebody who are physically active and they're looking into performance as well. I know there are some people who are really looking into, that's why they take creatine and all those, right? Because then they live better, one more reps and all that. So that would be very beneficial for their sport performance as well. So this is where I think stronghold could be, really beneficial for them. Those 10 push-up and 10 squats with taking stronghold, of course. Okay, with stronghold, you can definitely go more than just 10 and 10. I believe you can go more than that. Okay, it builds up to your stamina. So I think it's great. And it also helps to, work on your lactic acid, so it doesn't feel so sore after that. Can you make stronghold with CalMag? Yes, you can. Okay, because CalMag also have things like magnesium, calcium. Yeah, I think that would be a good combination. You can take together. And take it after you have your dinner or what. Yeah, I think that would be a good choice. And especially for those that have difficulty sleeping, I think this would be great, excellent for them. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. All right. It's great to be able to end the year with all of you. So I am excited for next year, and please stay tuned to our activities that's coming off next year. And of course, a big thank you for everybody who has been supporting us. And we hope that our talks have been beneficial. All right. So wishing you all Merry Christmas and a great end to the year. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next year. Bye.